soothe my aching.
What's your review of Black Mirror?
It seems promising. I've only watched 10 minutes so far. But I think cinema...
Okay, that's not a review. You can't be like, I started Black Mirror, the new season, and then you're like, you've only seen 10 minutes. Cinematography is great.
Also, I did rewatch the Blackpink documentary when I got home from Coachella, and that holds up.
Okay, I still don't even know who Blackpink... I couldn't name a single Blackpink song.
That's fine. I'm going to give you that. Like, that's fine.
It's the Pop Report.
So juicy. Hello.
Do you want to do the intro today?
Do I?
Do you?
Hi. Hi, guys. Welcome back to the Pop Report. We are fresh off of Coachella. You got to enjoy Coachella, and I got to enjoy being home.
Right off the intro. Hey, how are you doing? Hey, Coachella, Gaychella.
They don't care how we're doing.
No, they don't. They really don't. We're in the studio setup today.
We're back in the OG studio with the new setup. I like that you now have a chair to match my chair.
Yeah.
You're not on the couch anymore.
See, before we started this, I was like, Zach, if you move the pillow, it helps your posture. And I was like, I think I just need it because I'm an old man.
I didn't know I had a bad posture the entire time. Every single week, apparently, I had bad posture, and Andy didn't tell me until today.
I just have a bad back.
My pillow.
I have a bad back from Gaychella. And life, carrying all the weight of the world, anybody and everybody's problems. It's a lot of work, you know?
Sure.
But I had a great time. So I guess our hot headline starts right off the gate. I went to Coachella for work. Papa's tired. Papa is needing to be sitting for at least a week.
You would need to pay me a lot of money to go to Coachella.
Do you just not love music festivals or like going out in public to the desert?
Okay, first of all, the desert is a hard no. There needs to be air conditioning and showers. Second of all, too many fucking people. And it's just, I don't know, there's nothing, I was watching everybody's videos and photos from Coachella, and there was just nothing that to me was like, oh, that looks fun. I'm sure you had fun, and your photos looked great, but there's nothing that to me was enticing about paying that money to go in and then I see people in their tents. Listen, I live in downtown LA. I've seen homeless people with nicer tents.
Oh.
No, I've seen homeless people with nicer tents. Okay, they have electricity. The other day I saw a man with a refrigerator, and it wasn't a mini refrigerator. It was a whole refrigerator. So people that think that homeless people are lazy, that's not true, okay?
Yeah, those super duper tents you saw, some people were not prepared. I'll tell you that much. I learned so much this weekend. I walked through the campsite. I went for work. I was press. Also, how they treat press, that tent was sad. We had a fan. And I was like, thank God I'm barely here. I'm running around doing interviews. Camping at Coachella this year had a up to 12-hour backed up line. First of all, let it sink in. 12 hours in your car. I get it could be like a few hours, like 3 to 5. Like some people said 12. And I was like, wow, it was 100 plus in the first day or two. And the camping, nuts. They definitely had some special performances for the campers and the whole 9 yards. People love camping and all that jazz. That's not me. I don't know who you are. Good for you.
I don't need to be doing some afterpay plan to go and sit in the desert and wait for 12 fucking hours to get into to camp. I mean, I was looking at some of the people because they were showing they're like, look at my fancy tent. And I'm just like, nothing about that. Like, first you have to set that up and then you have to break that down.
I saw so many people who were camping at Coachella and they're like, here's my generator. I've got 3 big cases of water. They have water refill stations. They had such nice amenities, I will say, of things you would pay for. Like a ice bath plunge. I was like, that's kind of nice. I wouldn't have thought of that. But they had their own little food courts. They had their own stations. But the shower lines.
3 hours for a super duper shower that you have to pay $10 for.
Wait, $10?
$10 for a super shower. A super duper shower.
Do they get a fire hose?
I will bibbity bobbity my ass in my tent instead of waiting 3 hours to take a porta potty shower.
Why is it 10? What's the difference between a normal shower and a super duper shower, Blake Lively?
There's not much. There's not much of a difference. And the people on TikTok were saying the super duper showers were not worth it because you have to pay for them, and then they had the regular showers. And the regular showers seemed a bit more efficient than the super duper. The super duper shower, it was a little bit bigger.
Can you say super duper shower one more time?
Super duper shower, and there was nothing super or duper about it. Let me just tell you that. And so, I guess they were a little bit bigger. And that's really the extent of it. And they had the water pressure didn't look good. Like the other smaller showers looked like a better option because you didn't have to really wait in line for them. But then if you think about it, not only are you waiting in line to take a shower, but think of how many people are taking or using that shower before you, and not all of them are cleaning their dirty asses off. Like people were leaving pubic hair in the showers. Like it was a very eventful journey on TikTok.
People were taking videos of the pubic hair in the showers?
Yeah.
You're on a different side of TikTok than I'm still banned.
I was
not banned. I still don't have
yeah.
TikTok at the moment.
Oh, that's your bad.
Well, we'll talk about that later. Well, aside from that, so I went for work this year and I had to do interviews. So I drove in Friday. I think it took us from 11 a.m. we left. We didn't get in the festival till about 6 p.m.
Wow. Why?
So we took about 3.5 hours, 4 hours of like commuting, I would say. Stopped.
See, again, nothing about this sounds exciting.
Let me break it down for you.
Okay.
Stopped at a Taco Bell, as one does. Worked in the car.
You know where I can go to Taco Bell?
Downtown.
Here in LA.
Yeah.
Okay, continue. You stopped at Taco Bell, you peed, you
Did the whole 9 yards, got my Baja
Why
Blast.
would you stop at Taco Bell on a road trip?
You really do have a lot of things against life.
No, I'm just saying, who's like, let me stop at Taco Bell? Like, that usually doesn't end well when you go to Taco Bell. And then
If
you're
you
going to do that in a road trip in the desert?
I don't pick the C-grade meat. I pick the beans and cheese. You can't mess that up.
Okay.
And the C-grade chicken.
Okay.
But, so did that. I think we got screwed a little bit because we went down the main trek of Coachella. That was Monroe Street. And I think that was what took the longest the first time. So we had just like missed a lot of the sun. We missed like some of the performing sets, which for those people who don't know, the gates open at 1, like for the festival grounds. You can start going into the actual like parking area at 11 and you can like line up, do your thing. I'm not waiting in line for 2 hours though. That's a whole thing. Some people do that. We had on each day, it was supposed to be 2 interviews. And I was like, great, I'm pacing myself. I am in the desert. A boy who doesn't drink water is going to die if I stack these in one day. I have never drank more water in my life than I did in one day. And I was like, I think I had maybe like 12 liters of like liquid, and I think I peed twice. And I was like, this isn't math. This doesn't make sense. Where is it going? Like, is it just evaporating? But I was like, it needs to come out of me at some point. And so
It was through sweat.
right, but I don't sweat. Sorry. I don't, at least as much as the normal person. Maybe it's I don't drink water, but I had to cover some things for work, get all the social clips. I will say it was very fun for all of the stress I had going into it because I'm on the same page of like the money, the running around, the desert. For press, they give you a free ticket. I was thankful to be able to like go at a reduced cost than other people. Grateful for that. Still, it does add up.
How many times have you done Coachella?
This was my 3rd time. I had gone in 2019. I had gone in 2023 and now 2025.
And which was the best? Because I'm hearing people that frequently go to Coachella were all saying that this was the worst Coachella.
Oh, I had a great time.
No, but they were saying just in terms of the organization of the event, like the 3-hour showers, the 12-hour lines to get in. James Charles was very happy was very displeased with the security situation. He said that people were coming up to him and asking him for selfies left and right and grabbing him.
Never heard that one.
He said, and people were not happy with James Charles with those statements. But like I told you, I did my due diligence and I did my research and really researched Coachella. And I'm really glad I didn't go.
I will say, probably from the camping side, people had a lot of displeasure. I had a great time. Like, I think this was probably the gayest Coachella I have ever seen. More gay people, more gay related artists. Like, fresh off the gate as I got in Friday, I went to the Absolute tent and they're like,
oh yeah,
Paris Hilton's performing. I was like, the fuck? Like,
yeah.
So I got that tip because I was pressed and I was like, we're running into our friend Lewis also who's in there.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is fun. This is great right out the gate. She brought out Too Short and I was like, I have never done weekend 1. This was my first time.
Yeah.
And usually I've gone for weekend 2 and they say weekend 1 is to be seen. Weekend 2 is for the music. And I'm like, yeah, a lot of people taking photos left and right, a lot of surprises, a lot of money everywhere. There's a lot of free stuff if you can find it. Parties, food, Aperol Spritz, which is what I had. And I will say I made the most out of it. But What was really hard is, I will say, like, interviews as press is really difficult because you're chasing down all of these artists and then they move their sets around, they move their times around. If they're like, I want to go pop over to my friend's like stage performance, I want to go get some food, and you're like, okay, great. Now you've just canceled on 2 interviews and there's no cell service. So it's kind of hard when you're like, I want to watch something and you're like, okay, I need to go check my email and there's no service. You're like running, being like, and then you run, leave a set, and you're like, oh, well, this artist just canceled this interview. F me, I could have stayed at that set. And you're like, well, now I'm free for 2 hours. So I think I interviewed 4 artists in total. It was supposed to be maybe 6 up to 8, but people moved things around. Very happy with the interviews, very happy with the sets. I think that when it came to my displeasure is the amount of achiness a bitch had with her feet. At the end of every day, everyone's like, do you want to go to a party? Do you want to do this thing? And I'm like, no. Papa wants to go home. Papa wants to sit. I literally, this sounds so embarrassing when I say it, my ass cheeks were chafing. I was like, I was running so much. I was like, my cheeks hurt. And I was like, I'm waddling. I am literally
How
at this
much
point.
of your cheeks do you use when you run?
Honey, let me tell you. And so we got back to my Airbnb and I'm like, TKO. And I'm sitting there and we're like, let's just have a nice like jacuzzi moment, do our thing. And we're sitting down in the hot water. And I look at my boyfriend, all of a sudden it's like Final Destination. He's just bloody on his chest. I'm like, oh my God. And he's like, what? I'm like, there's just blood coming out of his nose from how dry the desert is. And I'm like, we are unwell. Glad we didn't go anywhere. But like, it is crazy. If you're not prepared, you have friends who break up their relationships because like people ditch each other for certain sets and certain times. It's like, imagine having a group of 6 and they're like, I'm going to go see Green Day. And you're like, I'm going to go see, I don't know, Zed. And you're like, let's meet up. What happens if you don't meet up? What happens if you don't find them? And you're like, fuck this girl. She didn't meet up with me. Did she? And then they show up 10 minutes late and you're like, oh, I just went through this whole brain conundrum of like our relationship, if they would ditch me or not. So it really puts your relationships to the test.
What would you say were the highlights from Coachella?
I would say I had amazing, I'm not paid to say this, nothing whatsoever, the Postmates pizza. I had 6 slices. I got a lot of them for free, but they were some of the best pieces. They were just square. They were just so nice. And it was jerk chicken and like there was a shrimp one with sausage. Great. I will say that was amazing. On the con of that same side, the food prices this year were asinine.
Yeah.
Like I saw someone pay $220 for 2 or 3 meals in a day.
Yeah.
And I was like, they were great pieces of food items I got, but I was like, damn, like wild.
Okay. Well, what were the musical highlights of Coachella?
Oh, yeah. So I will say the people who I thought would be my top performers were not as much. Gaga, amazing. I've seen her 4 times. That was probably the best. Like, she gave me theatrics.
Yeah.
She played some like songs I didn't expect her to play.
Judas.
Yeah. And
which
Alejandro.
Has now become, I heard that
the Jenna Ortega soundtrack.
No, it's Judas has now become a top song streaming on Spotify.
Really?
And she's like her and Taylor, I think, right? Which Taylor wasn't even at Coachella, but Lady Gaga's Spotify streams have like astronomically skyrocketed. So did Katy Perry's, but we'll get to her later.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute. I think she also played, it's Scheisse or something, but like it's like a play on of the German word shit. It's not actually Scheisse, but like Scheibe. She played that and I was like, this has never, when I was a gay little growing up kid, she had that on the famed Monster and I wanted to watch that so bad. I saw all these videos of like fans being pulled up to the stage and performing that song with her. She did a really good job.
Yeah.
I think of all the headliners, she did chef's kiss. No problem.
Did you see
Great
Green
production.
Day?
I walked by Green Day. I listened to 1 or 2 songs. I was like, not crying.
See, I would have rather have had Green Day over Gaga.
Really?
Yeah.
My top ones are Zed. Zed brought out...
Oh, Zed. Yes. We saw Zed in Vegas.
Yeah. And I thought it was better than our time in Vegas. Zed brought out John fucking Mayer.
Yeah.
I felt like Emma Stone. John fucking Mayer. And Maren Morris, like Ella Dooley, so many good...
Did you see Flavor Flav?
Flava Flav.
Okay, I thought that's what I saw.
Also came out
I saw that on your
set.
Instagram stories. I was like, Flavor Flav is here?
I saw Trixie Mattel, who
Oh, yeah, Trixie.
performed with Vincent. Trixie had one of the biggest sets at Coachella. Thank you, Trixie, for picking up that article. I wrote about it also. I interviewed the Beaches. I interviewed Vincent as well. Talked to Alok, who's a big Brazilian DJ who brought out Ava Max. I think, honestly,
Charli.
my Blackpink girls and Charli, up there. I think Lala Lisa, Miss Mook from The White Lotus, biggest kudos to her. Her set was like vocally, choreographically, sound, like aesthetic, like Sahara tent, amazing. Jenny, it was fine. It had some good moments. But there were a lot of people who were like, I'm here for Megan. And I didn't think Megan sounded the best.
Megan Thee Stallion.
Yeah. She brought out Sierra. She brought a few others.
Sierra. Missy Elliott.
Yeah. I saw Missy. That was fun. But yeah, like it's a whole beast because you're also like, if I stay till closing, I'm leaving with 50,000 plus people and I'm screwed.
I loved the TikTok videos with the montages of people walking out.
Oh.
And they were like limping because their feet were so. There was a lady in a wheelchair. I was like, who brings their wheelchair to the desert? There was a lady with a baby.
There were children with strollers. Like,
there was a lady with a newborn baby huddling out of there.
I was like, thank God it's just me and my boyfriend, because I've done it with groups. I would never more highly recommend just going with like one or two people, because you can just be like, you good? Yeah, let's leave.
Yeah.
I was so happy. I think I stayed late to the festival one of the nights.
See, I could only do Coachella if it was like super artist VIP shuttle man driving me places. And James Charles had all that, and apparently he said that this year was the worst year for the artists, and that it was,
Well, whatever they say. Charli had an amazing time. I've seen Charli so many times also.
Charli XCX.
Yeah.
And she brought out Lord.
Billy,
Lord,
hey,
and Billy, you there?
Troye Sivan, the gaggle of the
I
gay
didn't
collection.
even know Troy was there.
So I will say this. If you are a Coachella regular and you're like, car service, whatever else, I don't know that life. That's not me. I am a GA girly through and through, because the money is money. And if you do try to leave the festival, Zach, I feel like this would be your, what if I just paid for a black car service? There are men standing with iPads at the very end who are like, car service. And you're like, okay, but like, why would I get a car service? If you get a black car service, it's like an Escalade, some sort of like big SUV, they will drive, and they have the permission to come all the way up to certain points of the festival of like VIP entrances. It's $500 for a ride. So that's their only ride of the night. They're not going back.
Yeah, see, I would do it. Like now, when when I go to LAX now, have you Ubered?
The black car service you can get from LAX?
No, yes, but if you try to Uber out of LAX, you have to get on this like rinky-dink bus to go to some parking lot to wait for your Uber. I'm not fucking doing that. So I just do the Uber. Get me an Escalade, give me a Suburban. I was like, I don't care how much it is. It's fine. Like I don't deal with that stupid bus anymore. I did it like 2 or 3 times. I was like, I can't do this.
I walked.
Where do you walk?
I walked to
that park.
I walked to the Uber shit. I'm like, I'm not taking the bus. If it's
you can walk. I guess you can walk.
That's
a far walk.
If I take United or American Airlines, I'm at a pretty good spot.
I still don't want to go to a parking lot to get picked up by an Uber. I want the car there and ready. So I will pay the premium. If I were at Coachella, I would pay the $500 to have the man drive me to and from.
You're just living that life.
Like Parker Posey, I've realized that like I'm too old, and I'm only 31, but I've just realized I'm not meant to live an uncomfortable life.
And that's fine, because neither are the girls who went to space. Yeah.
Well, I don't know, because people are very divided about the ladies that went to space, including Katy Perry and Gayle King and
Emily Ratajkowski.
Yes.
So, first of all, how many girls went to space? There were
5?
Like 6.
5
small
or
groups,
6?
like 8. It was
okay. It's not 5 or 8. Like how can we Google this?
Yeah.
It's normally when Jack interjects. I think it was 5 or 6.
6.
Not 8.
6.
Okay.
Sorry.
So 6 people.
So
6 people. 2 that we know, 1 that we sort of know, and the others we've never heard of.
So Katy Perry and Gayle King. And then we have a few others in the crew. Amanda, Aisha, Carrie Ann, and Lauren. Lauren Sanchez, also known as Lauren Sanchez.
Who's Lauren Sanchez?
Jeff Bezos'
Girlfriend. Oh, that's the girlfriend. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I knew there was a girlfriend in there.
This was an
somewhere.
11-minute flight.
Yeah.
So this has a lot of people up in arms and also like mixed. You know,
Yeah.
this whole flight, I think what we only got out of it is Gayle King and Oprah wondering if they're going to come back like from this. Gayle King ringing that bell when she's about to go on that spacecraft. She's like, Jesus, take the wheel.
See, I would be terrified to do this because, like, it sounds cool in theory, and you're like, yeah, but then once you're in the ship, like, I'm from the era where I grew up, and on the news, the astronauts would blow up when you put them into the sky.
That's what Gayle King's probably thinking about.
Thank you. So that's all I remember is when being in school, and then they're like, oh my God, the people exploded in space. And that's what would terrify me is I don't know if I have enough faith. I mean, granted, it's been a lot of time since the people blew up in space, but how often, we don't know how often, or the couple that got stuck in space and they were in space for
9 months.
Exactly. I see nothing
they didn't get
about this
overtime.
looks interesting.
So Blue Origin's purpose for those people, just to set out the gate, their
Mhm.
purpose is to increase access to space with reusable rockets.
Mm.
Okay, so that's the point of this, to show that like anybody can do it. Even Katy Perry can go into space. And some people, including Wendy's, was like, can they send her back? The thing is, did we need this? No,
No.
but we're talking about it is one thing. The cost
Well, it's
is
like
still
when they put the people in the submersible. Is that what it was called? The submersible?
the Titan submersible.
Yeah, and then it blew up in the ocean. See, anytime rich people are spending stupid money on going places they don't need to be going, they don't end up coming back. So I would not be ready to jump on board with Katy Perry.
That's why Oprah sat on the ground.
Yeah,
Oprah was like, please, please.
I would
Let
have
her
so
come
much
back.
anxiety.
Did you watch all the videos from the launch and like the interviews?
For the most part, yeah. I saw Kris Jenner and Chloe were there.
Yeah, I was like, okay, like, go off. So the flight, they obviously got into space. They had their little pod base. It looked like, I don't know, a lid, like a lid for like
Yeah.
a drink,
Like a thermos.
like the crazy waters that are
Yeah.
like the blue lid. It looked like that to me. But they had this whole moment in space where they're just like floating around, and people are like, Katy Perry's promoting her music in this.
Yeah,
like
she's
she's using this time. It's like, wouldn't you?
Yeah, well, she released the set list for her upcoming tour.
Yeah, so she is talking about that. I saw people put memes of like her holding it, and they're like Coachella weekend 2 ? And like making memes of like, will I be coming back into space again? I thought it was kind of funny, the memes that came out of it. But there were interviews. Gayle King was like asked if Katy Perry sang, and she's like, yes, she sang in
Yeah.
space. Like,
What does she sing?
what
Imagine.
a wonderful
What a
world.
wonderful world, yeah.
Yeah. And so all the girls had their little moment. They had video throughout, and the landing was, in my opinion, was the funniest. Like, you have to imagine this bottle cap coming down from space, and it's just a parachute. Like, it is just, do you think that's going to hold you? Because I wouldn't.
No, again, like I'm not skydiving, I'm not jumping onto planes. And again, what was the point of going to space? They went to space and
Just
were
to make
zero
it more
gravity
accessible.
for 4 minutes. But like, what was the point of that?
I don't know, but the scream they scrum when it hit the ground, I would also have screamed. It literally like shot out like a fart. Like, it was just like dirt, like boom. And they all screamed like, ah! That was my favorite audio of it. But people are like, did we need this? No. Like, we don't have to spend this much money to go into space, show it's possible. Like, people kind of sitting there like, space exploration for 11 minutes. Can we save some money and repair our roads?
Yeah, I saw Olivia Wilde. She commented, she said, $1 billion bought some good memes, I guess.
Emily Ratajkowski was like, this wasn't needed. This is dumb.
Yeah, she had a whole rant on Instagram. Olivia Munn said, what's the point? Is it historic that you guys are going on a ride? I think it's a bit gluttonous. Space exploration was to further our knowledge and to help mankind. What are they going to do up there that has made it better for us down here? I get that. Like, I get it. Like, what was the point of this? Like, the submersible. What was the point of this other than just kind of, you know, spending an exuberant amount of money? As you said, Wendy's tweeted because they were like, Katy Perry has returned from space, and Wendy said, send her back.
Can we send her back? You know, is the 2 reactions to that? Either the social media manager's boss was like, good job, or like, we need to have a talk.
Yeah.
It's one of the two, and you have no idea if you just made like a mockery or made like something good for the brand.
Yeah. It just, but again, like, cute, you know, I'm
Cute.
glad that they got to go, but I don't really understand what the point of it was, because we didn't learn, like, we already sent people to the moon. And so why is it so exciting that we're sending people into space for 4 minutes? Or did we?
Well, it's supposed to be a very,
Do you think we landed on the moon?
oh my God, you would love a fucking conspiracy.
Well, now I'm just curious, because I'm like, if we landed on the moon and did a happy dance and
Let me tell you
and
this.
put the flag there, and then suddenly it's like a big deal that we sent Katy Perry to space for 4 minutes.
Let me tell you this.
I didn't have questions before Katy Perry went to space. Now I have questions.
If we can send Katy Perry into space, I'm pretty sure we land on the moon. Think about that.
I'm trying to think about, but we didn't send Katy Perry to the moon. Why couldn't we send Katy Perry to the moon? If we did this, like, how many decades ago we went to the moon? Why couldn't we send Katy Perry to the moon? Why did we have to send her to space for 4 minutes?
Because she's a California girl. She wants to stay back homebound.
I don't know. Now I have questions. I didn't before, but now I do.
Okay, so aside from space, anything else you want to talk about?
Well, Katy Perry was holding space. She was defying gravity.
Holding space for Katy Perry.
There we go. This is what Wicked 2 should be about.
Where were the Wicked memes in this?
Why didn't we send Ariana Grande to space? That was Cynthia Erivo. Is that her name?
To promote Wicked?
Well, yes. Rather than Katy Perry's set list, they should have sent Cynthia Erivo, and she could have sang Defying Gravity in space, rather than Katy Perry singing. What did she sing? Imagine?
What a wonderful world.
Same thing. Yeah. Well, I'm glad she made it back safely.
Well, speaking of music, we have some music news to get to, but if you love the Pop Report as much as we do and as much as we hate ourselves, you should hate this podcast and hate watch too. Subscribe, like, comment, do it on your Tinder date, do it while you're in the car doing nasty things.
I have music news, and I saw that Addison Rae has an album coming out on June 6th.
She did a surprise performance at Coachella with Arca.
Who?
Exactly. I didn't know who they were. But yeah, Addison Slay came out and she said, I have a new album.
Hey.
So that's happening. That's a fun time.
That's exciting.
I feel like our music news was just Coachella.
She's the one that does, and then the drink entire Pepsi.
Yeah.
Isn't that her? In your car, in the drive, doing Pepsi.
Losing all my innocence
In the backseat. There we go.
That's what you're doing when we're listening to the Pop Report. Was that your music news?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Addison Rae has a new album coming. Well, because I just learned that she's not. What was the girl that I was thinking of last time?
Charli D'Amelio?
D'Amelio. Yes, it's D'Amelio. By the way, it's not D'Amelio. It's Charli D'Amelio, because there's an apostrophe after the D.
Oh, I always see D'Amelio. I want to say, check your sources.
D'Amelio. It's D'Amelio.
Come back to me on that.
Okay.
You need to know who she was before.
Okay.
So, in our other music news, we were talking about this while we were having a little coffee before. I also love how far away we are. So it makes me feel like I haven't seen you and I'm not that close. But we were just spending time together. We were having our little Starbucks moment, and we're like, Lil Nas X went to the hospital?
Oh, yeah.
Like,
what happened to him? I saw his face is paralyzed.
So,
half of it.
The thing is, this is in Variety. What's in Variety, not to be shady, that's a slow news day. When it's on the front page of Variety, I'm like, let him live. He said it's not a big deal. But
I don't know. If my face were half paralyzed, that would be a pretty big deal to me.
So he posted on Instagram, the right side of his face,
right,
was not functioning. It's kind of drooping.
But why?
So he didn't specifically say why. He was just kind of laughing about it.
Sounds like an adverse reaction.
He's put, guys, I'm okay. Stop being sad for me. Shake your ass for me instead. He said, I'm going to look funny for a little bit, but that's it. He didn't say like what happened, but some people said that this like could be Bell's palsy, which basically could be triggered by like high blood pressure, infection, diabetes. He still hasn't said anything, but he just basically said, here's a video, say goodnight and go. And so don't know where he was, what happened, but he was in the hospital when he posted it. And so I feel like this happened to Justin, where he like had his face too, and everyone's just like,
Funny how that's happening so common lately.
not you with this. I don't know, like,
I mean-
have you ever gone to the hospital and you posted a video of yourself in the hospital, or like the hospital bands, and everyone's like, "Oh my God, are you
No,
okay?" And
those
you're
are
like, "I'm doing it
sympathy
for
posts.
attention."
Yeah, it's all for attention.
I agree. One time I did it because I was like, I want people to check on me because I'm like, I'm in the hospital, but I put the band, and I was like, I have a tummy ache. That's it. But like, there are those people who are like, I'm dying, I'm in the hospital, and you're like, are you okay? And they're like, yeah, I'll be out tomorrow. I'm like, when it's like, give me my phone, Charlotte.
Was Lil Nas why wasn't he at Coachella? I feel like that would have been
There are a couple people I think should have been at Coachella. In
Who's
our
at
music
Coachella
news.
weekend too?
Same people, different
Oh.
surprise guests mostly. So like a couple surprises that happened, like
I just want to go all night.
she wasn't there.
No,
I thought she was gonna come out with the Marias, but she did not. But a couple surprises change out, and so who knows? Maybe Lil Nas could be weekend too. But that's the thing, is that's why people
He's
pick
got to
different
fix
weekends.
his face first.
Okay. So like for Megan brought out Sierra.
Mm-hmm.
That may not happen for weekend two.
Sierra.
Schedules are different. You may have Lil Nas coming out, maybe not.
Yes. Well, you normally don't have the same surprise guest back to back. That's the whole point of like going, because it's not the same.
Right. So who knows what's gonna happen? Maybe Lil Nas will be like, "I'm back, guys. My face is good. Best wishes to you. Love you so much." But I feel like that's enough music news because we spent so much time talking about the wonderful Coachella.
But we do have some watch or skip news.
We do. Now, when it comes to watch or skip, have you watched anything fun?
Oh, I just watched the Netflix The Lifeless movie with Connie
What?
Britton.
Lifeless.
It's called The Lifeless. Okay, well, some of us
Life list.
The Life List.
I thought you said lifeless.
No,
and I was
the
like,
life
who's dead?
list.
I wanted to watch that. What's your review?
It's actually really cute. I thought it was going to be dumb, and I was like, well, it's fine. It's probably not going to be that good. It's going to be campy. But I actually thought it was very cute. It's a little predictable, but for the most part, I thought it was a very good. I mean, it's a little long. It's over 2 hours, but I thought it was good. Connie Britton's good. The girl that plays the main character is good. The guy that she dates the lawyer is a cutie. Actually, both guys that she dates in the movie were cute.
I love Connie
But I
Britton.
like the lawyer dude.
Okay.
He's like kind of goofy and quirky, but like has a fun personality, and he's cute.
Oh, is that what they say about you?
Probably. No,
Probably.
the internet says mean things about me.
Oh, well, aside from that,
Did you watch anything?
I started watching Black Mirror when I was
Oh,
like in my
yeah.
Airbnb in Joshua Tree, and I was like sleepy. I was like, I can't. I want to watch something, but I'm dying. My cheeks, the lotion, it burns.
That's why you need lube.
I really just thought about just putting some lube up, and I was like, what if I just do that and soothe my aching?
What's your review of Black Mirror?
It seems promising. I've only watched 10 minutes so far, but I think
Okay, that's not a review. You can't be like, I started Black Mirror, the
I
new
started it.
season, and then you're like, you've only seen 10
cinematography
minutes.
is great. Also, I did rewatch the Blackpink documentary when I got home from Coachella, and that holds up.
Okay, I still don't even know who Blackpink. I couldn't name a single Blackpink song.
That's fine. I'm gonna give you that. Like, that's fine.
But we do have some upcoming
Yeah.
projects that are in the works.
Yeah. So, and just like that, season 3, we have a trailer.
I can't believe that this has lasted this long. I feel like everybody hates that show. Like none of the Sex and the City people, because a few people actually have been trying to get me to watch Sex and the City, and
Who?
who?
Who's been trying to get you to watch? Your mom?
No, like neighbors or people at the gym. Like apparently it's popular and it's like regained popularity, but they say don't watch Just Like That because it's not good.
Yeah, I've been watching because here's my thing. I'm always late to the train when it comes to like a lot of TV shows. I think you and I have talked about this before.
Yeah.
I get shit from my boyfriend. I get shit from a lot of people being like, you don't watch stuff. I'm like, because we report about stuff, I either know what's going to happen or I know enough where I feel like
Yeah.
I've already watched it. But like 30 Rock, Parks and Rec, The Office, like I can't tell you how many times that like a big staple show has come out and I've just missed the boat. And it gets so far along where it's like on season 6 through 8. And I'm like, I'm never going to catch up.
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
Yeah.
bye.
And at that point, yeah, I agree.
So that's kind of what happened with Sex and the City. But I was also like, I don't know. I kind of found my gayness.
Do you watch Sex and the City?
Yeah, it's
Really?
fun.
See, so then why were you like, who's telling you to watch
Well,
Sex and the
so-
City? If you like it, you made it seem like it's some
So,
horrible show that people
that's-
shouldn't be recommending to
Well,
me.
when Sex and the City came out, it was like very scandalous. People were like, that's a girl show. Like, that's for women. If you don't understand like woman anatomy and like women's sex life, it's not for you. And like, obviously, a lot of gay people love Sex and the City. I didn't have access to HBO growing up. And so now in my later life, I'm like, I've been told so many times, like, you need to watch Sex and the City. It's actually really funny. And I'm like, it is fun. It's nice, good background. It's like you can watch from ever, pick it up. And just like that, no one is like raving because we don't have Samantha.
Yeah.
And so a couple of things have changed in the storyline, but yeah, we got a trailer. And so I can't tell you anything about and just like that, but I can tell you about Sex and the City.
Fun. I saw that Johnny Depp is making his official comeback to Hollywood.
What?
He has a new movie with Lionsgate called Day Drinker.
Oh, that's what you're called.
I call myself that. Yeah, so that's his new movie. And so this is the first film role that he's taken on since all of the Depp versus Heard trial back in
And just like that-
2022. And so it's in production now. It's expected to come out next year. But like, I don't know. Are we ready for a Johnny Depp comeback?
I don't know. I wasn't a big Johnny Depp fan already. Like, even before the trial and everything else, I was not.
You didn't like Captain Jack Sparrow?
I didn't watch Pirates of the Caribbean.
You didn't like Willy Wonka?
The OG Willy Wonka, yes.
You didn't. What else has he been in? The Lone Ranger?
What's the animated movie with the lizard?
What?
Never mind.
What is that? Well, I mean, let's see. You don't like Alice in Wonderland, Edward Scissorhands, A Nightmare on Elm Street, Sweeney Todd?
Oh, I was thinking of Rango. I looked it up. Rango.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I can't tell you a lot.
Sleepy Hollow?
Fine, whatever. I don't really know much. I'm not really
Culture.
Again, like I said, there's some things I haven't watched that are staple tentpoles, and that's my
I just named
Character
a
plot.
list of iconic movies.
yeah, that's my character plot. I have a list of iconic things I haven't watched.
So you're not excited for Johnny Depp's comeback. I don't really care. I feel like he's
Then why
been
you giving
so...
me shit?
Well, because hold on, I had to think it through.
I like this distance we have. I'm like, why are you doing this to me?
I feel like, I mean, I don't care. I feel like he hasn't been in a movie or anything in a really long time, that he's kind of like, I've kind of forgotten about him a little bit, and I haven't needed him on my screen. I mean, good for him that he's like making a comeback though.
Good for her. Good for her. Well, aside from that, I want to introduce a segment that we haven't done before called Big Things We Aren't Talking About.
Okay.
Now, we're not talking about this. TikTok, what about those people who work there still, who are like, it's 75 days. Do I want to keep this job or not? I'm a girl who's been locked out of my TikTok account. I'm like, who still works there? Who's still there? Who even wants to be there? I don't know who or what is happening at the lunch table of the workers who work at TikTok, being like, another day. When are you leaving, Janice? When are you going to America? When are you going to South America? When are you leaving the country? I don't know. Like, do you think they're talking about the days that they're going to be done? And if they're still holding on to grace, they're like, do I get a severance package?
I don't know. My cousin's wife used to work for TikTok, and she doesn't anymore. She had like just gotten the job, and then it was like, oops, TikTok's about to be banned.
It's like, when do you jump?
Well, I mean, clearly she jumped or she got fired. I don't know what happened, but I don't think she works there anymore. I don't know. Like, people are still at TikTok. I'm doing a whole event with
Name
TikTok
'em.
tomorrow.
Name them. Goes through list
I have a team at TikTok.
of 4 people.
Yeah, it is 4 people.
Probably.
And listen, I'm very happy with TikTok. I make a lot of money off of TikTok, so I don't want it getting banned anytime soon. But I'm doing a whole event with TikTok tomorrow. They
Amazing.
literally flew like creators out. I was like sad that I lived in Los Angeles because they didn't fly me out. But I was like, well, I'll catch a
this
catch
is
a
right.
flight.
Well,
from
tell
LAX
your
to
homegirl
Burbank.
to help me out for the next 70 days.
I tried that, and you weren't very nice.
I came back around to it, and it's just hard when you get auto responses 16 times.
Well, as you said, nobody works there anymore.
Yeah. Anything you have to talk about that's big that we're not talking about?
Johnny Depp,
Yeah, you said your piece with that.
he's back.
Well,
guess.
aside from that, we have some other news in your favorite corner.
Oh, yes.
You know exactly where I'm going, Mr. Daddy Sleuth. You and your press, you pick up with all your comments. I know that something's going to get picked up probably with us just having this conversation.
Wait, what did we say that got picked up? Remember?
Oh my God. I was called Producer Andy.
Yeah, they called you Producer Andy. I loved that.
I'm like, I have status. I have work.
Like Zack, Peter, and Producer Andy. What was it? What was it though? What was the headline?
It said, Zack Peter jokes about Selena Gomez forgetting fiance Benny Blanco's music.
Oh, that was a dumb story. I give you so many bangers on my social media
Fucking
and on my
bangers.
podcast, and we're going to pick up Selena Gomez forgetting a Benny Blanco song.
I love how you're like, I give you bangers like Miley Cyrus. Mm-hmm. Well,
I mean, come on.
we might have a banger movie coming out for Another Simple Favor.
Yes, so Another Simple Favor is coming out in May. Oh, actually, we're already almost there. Next month. It premiered at South by Southwest in March, and so we just got a new trailer for it that finally gives us a little bit more story. Blake Lively, her character is back, and they go to Italy, Capri, Italy, to get married, and she drags Anna Kendrick with her, and so I saw that Amazon disabled all of their comments.
Really?
Yeah, so you can't comment on the trailer. But she's with Anna Kendrick right now in London for the premiere.
And it's their first photo together.
So they were kind of forced to take cast photo, like group photos at South by Southwest, but I was like, there's no specific photo of them together. And so now we finally, I guess I was loud enough on the internet, not that I deserve all the credit,
some
but I'm
assistant
taking...
was like, this man is going to
I
bitch
know,
and
they're like,
complain.
Zack Peter is ranting about this. He's noticing the cracks in our story here. And so they made Anna Kendrick and Blake Lively post together. Have you seen this photo? Look at that.
Yeah, I saw.
Look at Anna's face.
It is a face.
Nothing about that looks like she's excited to be standing next to Blake Lively.
You know, I have this thought. Do you think that
What do I think? What? I'm showing it for the people.
for the lovely people, speak words or else?
Okay, there it is. Okay, what are you saying?
Do you think this movie is going to wipe away a lot of what's going on with this court case? I feel like
No.
Here's my thought. A lot of publisher accounts, I obviously work at a publisher, I worked at a few publishers. When bad news is happening and there's still like another premiere or another person, like the publishers usually put like general or like excited like language, like this person's looking great, even if they're like not in good press. They're not going to be like this person and this person don't look very, very good together unless it's a very tabloid outlet. But I've seen a lot of videos that are still like praising Blake and like projecting that this may make some things temporarily have a pause.
I don't think so. I mean, everybody's overanalyzing every single thing that she does at this. I don't know. It's just kind of weird to launch this big harassment lawsuit against Baldoni, and I don't know. The favorable coverage of Blake is very confusing to me because it's not very like unbiased, and it very much is like kind of protecting her. And I know she has a lot of strong contacts in the press, and I know she has, you know, she still has WME that's standing behind her. So I don't know, but she seems to be doing just fine. She was rocked out in her Chanel, and she was posing for photos. Anna Kendrick looked like she was having a blast right next to her. So she's doing the damn thing. I don't think this is going to take away from any of the lawsuit drama. I mean, maybe for the week it's going to be a blip, but after a week, I mean, now we're moving into the discovery phase, and I think that's where it's going to get really messy over the summer.
I hate to say it, the movie looks good.
It does look good. I've said that. Yeah, I think
this was one of my favorite movies, like the original, before any of this came out. I didn't really know much about Blake Lively at the time. And obviously it was a very different side of like Anna we got. I thought it was like one of the campiest, funniest movies. I think I've watched it like quite a few times, but now I'm like, it seems like they did a really good job in the production side of this.
Yeah.
I also wonder, we've had people speaking out about, you know, her latest project, and now I wonder if we're going to hear people speaking behind the scenes on Another Simple Favor. I don't know what's going to happen, but like this premiere is getting closer, and there's a lot of like press.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I mean, there are a lot of eyes on her. I mean, I would predict that the movie does well considering there's a lot of talk around her that I think people are gonna watch it just to like. I'm gonna watch it.
I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah, I'm still gonna watch it and talk about it. But and to be honest, like I am not upset about that. Like the movie kind of looks good, and she doesn't benefit from watching the movie at this point. She's already gotten paid, but like I'm interested to see what.
Yeah.
It's gonna be the first movie I watch on Amazon Prime.
Are you kidding?
I don't watch Amazon Prime. Who watches Amazon Prime? Me. What do you watch on Amazon Prime?
I watched the Reese Witherspoon and Will Ferrell movie. I watched
What
the
was
Shotgun
that?
Wedding movie with Jennifer Lopez.
That was on Amazon Prime? No,
Yeah.
that was on Netflix.
Shotgun Wedding was on Prime.
Netflix.
Prime.
I saw Shotgun Wedding, I think, and I didn't watch it on
To the
Amazon
salon.
Prime. I do not remember watching anything on Amazon Prime.
Prime Video.
Really?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Who would have thought?
Maybe I already did watch.
You know what? Maybe you just took a few gummies that night and you were like, don't remember.
Well, good for Blake.
Good for everybody. Well, at least everyone's getting paid. I hope everyone's getting paid. That'd be a different conversation.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, if you like us or don't, pay us because we need the money. But anything else you want to talk about?
No, I think that's everything. That's everything that's upcoming.
Live, laugh, love.
Live, laugh, love.
Well, that's
Live
another
your best
episode of the
life.
Pop Report, and we'll see you all real soon. And don't forget to stay hydrated. And if any girlies go to weekend too, just keep drinking water.
TikTok it.
TikTok it.
And don't do the super duper showers. They're not worth it.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.